Welcome, Team Evolve, to our Wealth Wednesday podcast. It is so exciting today as we are starting our new series into our community where you get to meet our brand partners at all levels, all ranks, and all walks of life who have just made their commitment to change their health. But at the same time, you're going to hear their stories of what they're going to do with their wealth. So in the next 30 minutes, you're going to hear stories from our builders. They're going to share with you why they partnered up with Lifewave, how Lifewave has changed not only their health, but the whole financial stability structure for their families, for their friends. And after this, Bryan and I are going to come up and share our unique selling bullet points. So it's going to be an incredible call. We have today is our senior presidential director interview along with our presidential director interview. So without further ado, let me introduce to you my new buddy from San Antonio. Let me pull up his real quick, his autobiography. Let me see. Where are you, Bryan? There we go. Okay, so we're actually very, very blessed, everyone, okay? I had the chance to meet Bryan, I think it was 6 months ago or a little bit longer. Let me give you, first of all, his background, okay? Bryan is from San Antonio, Texas. He's the father of 2 boys, and this is crazy. He's heard about the industry at the age of 18, but by the time he hit the age of 21, he knew already he was going to be in this industry. He studied our OG company called Amway. He studied all the leaders for 3 years before he made a decision. Then I think he took a couple of years to identify a company that he knew back then with his knowledge, his vision. He knew what he wanted and he sought after it. And he found a company at the age of 25. He has been with them for over 25 years. What has he done with the company for 25 years? He's helped them to become a billion-dollar brand. He has helped hundreds of thousands of partners to get to where they need to be in their health. Along with that, he has retired numerous families into the major income, what we call crazy income level, right? But the last 7 years, life got in the way. As we all can relate, life always gets in the way. But from there, his calling, I think he knew somehow deep inside there was something bigger happening. And long and behold, we found Bryan here in Lifewave. So everybody, we call Bryan the all-in Bryan Penrod. So Bryan, it is a pleasure to be here with you. It's a pleasure to be co-hosting today's Wealth Wednesday with you. And I cannot wait to hear our first interview getting started now. So Bryan, can you unmute yourself and we can get this party started?
Peter, I feel so incredibly blessed to be associated with you and Marcy and all of these other amazing leaders of Team Evolve. I see with Lifewave something bigger than I saw back when I was 25 years old. And I'm just so excited. It's such a privilege. And with that company, I got to know somebody very early on who ended up becoming the top earner in my team and actually surpassed me for quite a number of years. And she did just amazing. She was she ended up becoming in huge global demand in the Spanish markets, definitely through North American English markets, and even Asian markets. And she's actually inspired people from the stage in front of a complete stadium's full of people. And so but when you get down to the heart of who Paige is, I can remember years ago her saying this phrase, and it was work is love in action. And when I saw the Team Evolve vision and what that meant and how it had the word love in it, that perfectly describes Paige. She's a PhD. She earned earlier in life a PhD in education and entrepreneurship, and she loves adventures. I'll just tell you about one, and that's and she also likes challenges too. But she once rode horseback for 200 kilometers in France's Loire Valley, visiting castles in her chaps and boots. She loves to have fun. She's a vivacious person. And the way things are going, she's training for other adventures in other countries like Canada and Mexico. She's working on her citizenship in Mexico and working on her Spanish. So welcome, Paige Hunter. You're an amazing person, and I can't believe you get to be here. We've got to unmute you. You got to unmute yourself, actually.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Bryan. I feel almost embarrassed in some ways. I'm not someone who likes the limelight that much, but I'm very delighted to be with all of you. And I'm so grateful to be working with you. And I'm so grateful to be a part of Team Evolve. And I want to just create as much value for the people who are attending tonight. And I say we just get this party started. And thank you again for the warm welcome. It's wild.
Well, let me ask you, by starting out this way, what is a little bit about your background? Because I'm sure that a lot of people are going to be able to relate to you that way.
Oh, goodness. My background, I'm a Texas girl. I'm a country girl. I'm right now shorts and flip-flops. I'm actually in Puerto Vallarta, but I've always been one who loves the countryside. I love to have my own garden. I'm simple. I'm not a shopper. I do like good investments. I love helping people more than anything. I get such a helper's high when I can see people becoming healthier. As a kid, I was really sick growing up, and I'm reliving my childhood in my 40s. So here I am.
So then, you really do have an amazing background as people get to know you. There's a lot more to the story, but let's fast forward ahead. What would you say, what was it that really motivated you when you saw when you first saw Lifewave? What was that motivation that got you excited about this?
Well, as we're all aging and I love to stay active, I thought as soon as I came across and saw all the information on startx39now.com, I'm a researcher, and I was gobsmacked. I was entertained. I was blown away. And I said, this is going to take me strong into my 50s. And I was delighted that this would be an answer. And then I started seeing that there was other patches, and to couple with some really phenomenal nutrition that I'd been taking for years. And I thought, this is the wonderful, holy grail of health. And then I looked at it from a business perspective. I've always been delighted to be a part of entrepreneurship, and even at an international level. And it just looked like something that was very promising. So I started looking into that, and I went to startx39biz.com. I started doing a lot of research. I was blown away by the wonderful system that was put in place. And it was just phenomenal. And I said, wow, this is something that I feel wholeheartedly confident to bring others along on this great adventure we call life together, but in the most healthy way possible. So that's really what it was for me, Bryan.
Well, would you say that? I think a lot of people can relate after, for a lot of us that first experienced the product, being on samples at first, and then, wow, this is next level, right? Yeah. And so a lot of us have those exciting times, and as we continue to grow our business, we grow also ourselves as well. What would you say would be what's really motivating you now? Because you've been involved for around 8 months, and you're already presidential director.
Yeah, I just finished 9 months actually on the 7th. So it would be 9 months. And I would say what motivated me. Oh my gosh, getting out of bed in the morning and reading text messages by a person who says, thank you so much for introducing me to these products. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. I feel great. I feel, more myself. I feel happier. I feel more energy, all the things that they say when I read it, and I go, wow, I can't believe I'm getting paid to serve in this capacity. So that's one thing that gets me really juiced. The other thing that gets me really delighted to build business is the quality of the people. I am just blown away by the people and the absolute love that I've experienced. I mean, from those who have gone before us, so to speak, like Peter and Marcy and Ann Sontag and April Vaughn. I mean, like, I have great tools and something so powerful to run with, and linking arms with people who have a common vision to serve. I mean, and then we get paid to serve. I just pinched myself.
Well, let me ask you this then next. So what would you say would be your vision for the future for you, for going forward with Lifewave?
Oh man, I just feel like the sky is the limit. I've been thinking about that because, I've had the opportunity to live a very full life. Having lived in Mexico and Japan and the US, I think sometimes, more travel is great. More things are great, but it's never about things. It's never about what we can acquire. It's about what we can leave behind. So I'm looking more around legacy. And there's one particular nonprofit organization throughout the years that I've partnered with, and that's Children's Hunger Fund. And so I really love to be able to look at how can I serve in that capacity? In what way will I continue to direct some of my earnings that way? But the kind of gift that once you're dead and gone, that it still continues to give. And so what I love about this business is you can actually leave it to a nonprofit organization. You can leave it to your children. And so these are really beautiful points when it's done correctly. And, you can build for longevity, and you give a gift that way beyond your years, it continues to give.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your vision, where you come from. I think it's very inspiring. Your story is phenomenal. And it's wonderful to see all the different people in your team that are, their lives are changing, and in multiple ways. So thank you for your time tonight.
You're so welcome. And I'm so grateful. I mean, this is, guys, if you're thinking about this, you're thinking that this might be something for you, I'll just tell you, you won't regret it. It will be one of the best decisions you ever make for not only your health, but for all the lives you touch around you, your friends and family. It's something that is really a winner. So thanks again, Bryan. Thank you, Peter, for having me, and God bless you all.
So with that, I'd like to reintroduce my co-host tonight. It's been a privilege just learning about this person and what he's been able to develop. It's phenomenal. And Peter has quite a story. And just to keep it simple for those of you that already know it, he has no college degree, and then became a salon owner by the age of 20 and had that for about 10 years. So he starts finding out about network marketing, and then he eventually left the beauty industry to go into direct sales for about 20 years ago now. He's developed international teams that have done volumes into the hundreds of millions. I mean, everybody's dream in network marketing. And here he is sharing his time, his valuable time with all of us. And I'm just so appreciative of him. he reached the top rank of senior presidential director in 20 weeks. And we're about to all be able to celebrate with him his 4-year anniversary with Lifewave. So here's Peter.
Yay.
Oh, Bryan, thank you so much. Dr. Paige, it was a pleasure meeting you both. I still remember that time we were sitting in the sofa, and it just speaks accolades, okay, to have you both here in our community, in our teams, and what a beautiful interview. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. The next person I want to introduce to you, I call him my brother from another mother, even though he's an Italian stallion, okay? We had the pleasure of working together over 10 years ago. We came from the same company, from Marcy and I. We always used to run into each other in our hallways, always learning from each other. But one thing I love about Savy Vargas, and I'll give you his background, he is all heart. And you can tell by the way he talks, by the way he educates, and how he treats his team. So let me give you a background of what he has done. He's a functional exercise trainer with the National Academy of Sports Medicine, graduate of Idaho School of Massage Therapy, corrective exercise trainer with International Sports Association, graduate of the International School of Detoxification with added lymphatic iridologist, something I can't say, trained in essential oils and through doTERRA, certified nutrition coach with Food Matters Institute. He is a licensed insurance, been in a real estate agent for 18 years, father of 2, grandfather of 4 children, grandchildren, worked for the Federal Express for 20 years, all at the age, and he's only 20 years old right now. So I don't know, how he did all that, okay? But all I can say is he's the cash flow king. I really respect him. Savy Vargas, are you here with us today?
Peter, wow, what an introduction. What a mouthful, right?
It's a mouthful, and I think everybody's taking out their notes. They want to know who is Savy Vargas. So Savy, I still remember the day during the lockdown when you called me and you're like, Peter, I'm getting ready to join back our company. I'm like, what? Have you built your muscles all this time? You're like, no. So I invited you to the podcast and the rest is history. But yeah. Savy, what did you see? I want the viewers to know, what did you see that day when you came onto the podcast, and what made you decide to join us?
Well, with network marketing, it goes back 40 years with me. I remember in Tampa, Florida, where I lived, I had an Amway guy in my living room with a whiteboard drawing circles back then. So I always knew that network marketing and being an entrepreneur was the way to do it. But what happens is you get trapped in the matrix, right? You're married, you have children, and you need to have insurance and vacation and sick days, and you're trapped in that. But through the years, I tried this company, that company, even if it was over here on the side, because most people have to start on the side because they're trying to survive while they're building their business. But what I learned is, even though I'm motivated and I'm passionate and I'm educated, with a lot of these other companies, they don't have a system in place, and their comp plans are a little jacked up too. I'm just saying that the systems, they don't have it. And so you get in there and you're belly to belly, or back in the day, you have to bring all these people to this back room of a nutrition store and do a slide presentation, 30, 40 people, you hope somebody signs up. I mean, it was so slow. And then, as you said earlier, life can happen and you get stalled and the people float away, right? Even if the product is good. But here, when I come to the podcast is the secret sauce, because you can read in a book or you can hear from somebody, but when you see the people in front of you live, telling their before and after stories, sometimes they even cry, because they've been in pain for 40, 50 years. This is something that cannot be replaced. it's the secret sauce. That changed everything for me when I saw the podcast.
And then Savy, you came in, I think, a little bit over 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember, we have conversations about success and having not success. And I know being in the industry for that long, it was a rough ride for you. How different was it the first year? I mean, you literally took off, and how has life been in the last 3.5 years with the system, and how has Lifewave really changed your family's outcome?
Well, Peter, when you and I were in the old company together, the same people that I knew then, I know now, because I've been networking in this valley for 25 years, and I knew Dr. Herman and Dr. Karlfeldt and Hinsey, and I knew all the naturopathic doctors, all the chiropractors, all the trainers, massage people, yoga practitioners. I knew them all. But that old company that you and I were with, I would bring them these products. They didn't want them. They didn't want them. But when I brought stem cells, activating stem cells with light, all of them, all their ears perk out. What did you say, stem cells? Yes, activating your stem cells, because here in Idaho, you have to be a medical doctor to do the injection. It's illegal for anybody else to do it. This is a way for a naturopathic doctor or a chiropractor to go around that. Okay? You don't have to have the license and everything, the jurisdiction stuff, the legalities, you don't need it. So we can now activate stem cells with a patch and raise GHK and regulate genomes, which is more than the shot. The shot doesn't elevate GHK. It doesn't regulate genomes. It does one thing, inject stem cells. That's it. So it just took off because I ended up with, as you know, Dr. Herman out of the gate. And what happens when you get one doctor? You can get more doctors. They all know each other. Okay? If they understand networking. And a lot of these doctors, they've tried other things too. But stem cells are the game changer.
So, Savy, since we work together, how different is the binary build out? How much leverage? I want the viewers to understand our binary tree, because you came in like right in the beginning during our build. How much advantage have you gotten by just being in the right position in the right time, and how this system has helped you?
Well, as of this morning, I haven't checked it before we got on the call, but as of this morning, I had like 16,537 people. We never hit those numbers in anything else. Forget it, not even close. So the binary is a beautiful thing, because you got people helping you out. I mean, the leverage is the word, right? And all through the years, I dreamed about it. I told my friends, I would get with a company and it would hit a wall. And I get with my friends and I say, Rick, I just can't let go of network marketing, because if I ever get the right mix, right? The product, the system, it's unbeatable. It's the best way ever. It's the fast track to wealth. It's the fastest way. Because if you ever were trapped like I was at FedEx, if you're trapped in that 9 to 5 to 65, dead at 75 matrix, it's like a trap. It's very hard to get out of it. You have to plan it. And that's what I did the whole time. So when I reached out to you, it was literally out of frustration, because I kept hitting these walls. And the people that I had worked with before, I wasn't as big of a fan of them as I was of you. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick who I want to work with. I'm going to choose it. And so chose you, and everything else is history, because the podcast is the secret sauce. We have everything here. It's all simple. Binary tree simple. Patching is simple, but the results are big.
Savy, all these years, the last 20 years, I think we have 215 people on this call tonight. I think each one of us here has always dreamt, always wanted, right? That chance, I hate to say golden ticket, but there is a ticket here that you can get, but you got to earn it, right? You got to really build on it. And, you know, you're one of the ones that, to me, has the biggest heart, worked hard, but never got that opportunity. And once you saw it here, I mean, it is life-changing. Can you share with our viewers, maybe last question, like, what is your vision here? And what's your vision here, Savy?
You know, Dr. Paige, she resonated with me as to why she does it. Because, you know, for me, I'm not a materialistic person. You know, wealth to me is just the freedom part. The freedom part is the main thing for me with wealth. But I just finished an interview with a man who's 100. And he's still very jolly and jovial. And when the lady asked him, how do you stay so upbeat? He said, because every morning when I wake up, I say to God, who can I help today? That's his attitude. Who can I help today? And that's kind of how I feel about it. If I can help you with your health, it just brings me joy, right? To remove human suffering, animal suffering brings me joy. To see somebody struggling financially, which is a lot of people, probably 90%, if I can take that stress off of them by seeing them cash flow too, that brings me joy. So really, it's a work of service. Like my ministry is to help people get out of suffering and to get out of poverty too. Because look, there's only a few opportunities. All right, if you're in the 9-to-5 matrix, forget it. It's very difficult, extremely difficult to do that. Okay, and if you're dependent on the government, you can really forget it. You're going to have to go out there and do it yourself now. This is the golden ticket, like you said, because this is not CBD oil. This is not a healthy shake, healthy coffee. This is unique on the whole planet. It's the injections or the patch. That's it. It's a monopoly. And
Wow.
the podcast proved they work.
Oh, Savy, it's always a pleasure to, number one, see you, talk to you. But I think everybody on this call really got to feel your heartbeat and got to know you a little bit more deeper today and what you're passionate about. And everybody, just take a look at our leaders here, okay? From Dr. Paige to Bryan to Savy. We don't talk about money, but trust me, these are the top 1% earners in the industry, and all the money really goes into their communities, into their families, for the future of everyone. And that's the beauty of being part of this beautiful community where we never have to talk about money, but our company pays us well enough. And Bryan, oh, go ahead. One more, Savy, one more thing you want to add?
Peter, I wanted to say one more thing, because every once in a while, there's people out there that get weird about money. Just think of it like this. If you don't think money can buy happiness, then you haven't helped enough people yet. When you start to cash flow like this, you help everybody. I help my mom, my kids, my brothers and sisters. I give a lot of patches away. If people need help, I help them. And you can do that now when you cash flow. You can be very generous. And that makes you feel good too.
And especially when you're supported by friends like this and networks like this, it is the number one fulfilling feeling. So Savy, Dr. Paige, thank you so much for your time. We're going to come back to you very soon, and you're going to hear your teams being here interviewed every single week on Wealth Wednesday. Bryan, I think we have a couple more things we have to share with our audience tonight. What do you see? Because as being a top earner, a top builder in the industry, what would we like our viewers that are watching this, the leaders in the industry, the builders, the brand new moms that are barely coming into this industry, what would we like them to hear about Lifewave?
So after being involved with this industry for so long, people that have been involved for decades tend to hear about lots of companies and have experience evaluating systems. And one of my core interests was evaluating systems and looking at all of the different factors that it would take for a company to really survive and thrive for the long term, for generations even. And so I think that there's several ingredients to that, right? There's number one, you've got products that everybody in the whole world needs. They're cutting edge. They're so far and above and beyond what is available in the entire rest of the network marketing industry. It's mind-blowing when people catch that and see that. It's phenomenal. There's so much, we're getting so much help from social influencers that have nothing to do with Lifewave talking about stem cells now, just literally like setting it up like a grand slam home run softball pitch. It's amazing when you got Tony Robbins talking about stem cells, for example, to millions and millions and millions of people. And it's being put on the global population's radar more and more. Zero competition. I've heard you talking about that. That's huge. When we've got something everybody needs, there's no competition. And then number three, they're consumable, meaning that we reorder. And if you think about a well-established business that can go for the long term, you know, these are consumable products, which, even if you think about this, let's say some recessionary times tend to happen in different cycles economically. And if that was to ever happen in whatever country you're listening in from, you know, we tend to be, this industry tends to be more recession resistant. And if you look back at different cycles of recessions, our entire industry has exploded with growth. So I would say too that I like the global expansion possibilities, right? Because, you know, we're a social media online world now. And this system, to me, though, is besides the heart-centered people and the leaders that I've seen involved and selflessly just continuing to do these Zooms, it's the heart-centered people that are involved with this system that have given us the most cutting-edge tools, like our Telegram, our testimonials Telegram, and I use that all the time. The YouTube channel, the before and after pictures, and then, you know, we're trying to open up Mexico also and really get it growing, right? And so we've already got that begun in Spanish and form. So I love how Start X39 is set up to already be in multiple languages, and it's just going to get better from here. And if I may add this too, on the long term, I've heard that, you know, Lifewave, I see them doing $1 billion. No ifs, ands, or buts. But I think that this team will be $1 billion team eventually. I see that, and I'm excited about it.
Oh, Bryan, I think you got my hair standing up, because that's the first time I heard somebody call not $1 billion company, but $1 billion team. And the only way to do that, right, Bryan, is you have to literally be like, you have to literally own the market share of a whole company. And just to let everybody know, in the last 4 years, and August, September would be Marcy and I's 4-year anniversary, we're talking about over 50,000 brand partners now, over $150 million in global sales in the last 4 years accumulated. We have broken every rank advancements, every commissionable rank. We have developed more leaders in here in the whole company's history as fast as we have grown. So I'm just going to piggyback a little bit of what Bryan has said also about our competition. Our company, David Schmidt, We're the only company in the whole world that can activate your cells. We manufacture our own products. We create our own ingredients. We have 8 headquarters offices. We are a global company that is all controlled through a single app on your phone. We have numerous benefits. If you'd like to know more about this, if any of this information today, if you're a guest here today and anything piques your ears today, talk to the person that invited you here. Tell them that you love to join our community. You want to be part of this light revolution and just help people get to their health. But along with that, in this economy time, we all have to build a network of wealth, cash flow, strong people so we can grow and learn from each other. And this is one beautiful Team Evolve community that has done that at record time. So what a beautiful call, Bryan. I can't wait to host the next one with you very soon. Again, Dr. Paige, Savy Vargas, thank you so much for your time. And thank you to all our brand partners here that just constantly show up every week, constantly supporting us and bringing the guest on here. And again, if you're a guest, big kudos to you. Talk to the person that invited you here, and let's just get you started and join this revolution with us. Thank you, each one of you, for tonight, and we will see you tomorrow on our testimonial call. Bye, everybody. Love
Bye,
you all.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye, Dr. Paige. Bye,
Thanks a lot, Peter and the gang.
Thank
Have a
you,
great
Peter.
night.
Great
Great
call
call.
today.
Bye.
Bye,
Good meeting
everybody.
you, Savy.
Nice to meet you.